G'day ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Draw with Jazza. I'm Jazza and this video is the showcase and the announcement of the winners to the November 2016 Challenge of the Month. And the theme of the Challenge of the Month was Pokemon Mashup, where participants were required to create a mashup out of 2 Pokemon from the original 151 Pokemon, combining them into one original Pokemon character design and depicting them in an ambitious way. Before we jump into it, I want to thank Josh Rout, aka Cave Monster, for allowing me to use his Pokemon Fusion character design in the thumbnail of the announcement video. I'll link to his DeviantArt in the description, go check him out. And of course, I want to take a moment to remind you that in these showcase and announcement videos, I can't show everyone. And with this month being the biggest level of participation we have ever had in a Challenge of the Month with almost 1,800 entries, yeah, you heard that. That's why the announcement video was late. I highly recommend going to watch the slideshow with all of the entries to the Challenge of the Month. They are amazing, and there are so many that I really wanted to include in the showcase, but unfortunately, the more entries to a Challenge of the Month, the more ruthless I have to be in what I can and cannot include in these showcase videos. So please go check out that slideshow and watch and enjoy the amazing entries to this challenge. So to anyone new to these challenges of the month, let me break down how this video works. I start off by sharing a showcase of a whole bunch of entries that caught my attention and were really impressive or amusing. These are not prize winners, more honorable mentions, but really amazing pieces. Then I go into the beginner category. I share a few of the finalists that were considered for a prize place, and then I share the runner-up and the first prize winner for the beginner category. And then finally, I share the finalists of the open category, each of which win a small prize, and then I share the runner-up and the first prize winner of the open category. So let's jump into the showcase. And this month, I think I might do things a little differently. Rather than sharing the showcase entries with you myself, I think I might get my Pokédex to help.
Pokemon Track Attack, owned by Trainer Dramy, is a combination of Tragoso and Ibitak, German versions of the English names for the respective Pokemon. Artist and trainer Flare Arts created Pokemon Arcatails, combination of Arcanine and Ninetales. George M.D.V. Rodriguez created Beedrill Aerodactyl, combination Beedactyl. This is a flying type Pokemon you don't want to cross in an alleyway. Hybrid Pokemon Magnicruel, owned and created by Pokemon trainer and artist Eziali, is also horrifying. Artist/trainer Shivangi-chan created Kingzard. This is a powerful Pokemon you don't want to mess with strong silhouette and design. 30FactSecond created a combination of Scyther and Venusaur into Scizor. Trainer and artist Michael Brazelton combined Mewtwo and Moltres. Trainer Chi Wall combined MASHUP and Muck into Muchamp. The Pokemon says Muchamp, and the eyes say, "Kill me." Artist Bekoi created Leponair. This depiction of the rare Pokemon is very appealing, with nice use of contrasting but complementary colors and aesthetically pleasing silhouette. Arcone 2009 created Haunter and Cubone hybrid Hauntbone. That was not the officially assigned name, but I assigned it right now, and I'm okay with it. Artist Ken Sakevg, turns out even a Pokédex can't pronounce some of these names. My apologies. Combined Marowak and Sandslash. This Pokemon mashup is appealing with nice presentation. Artist Samuel Caldo created Lapras and Venusaur combination Laprasaur. This piece is reminiscent of legends of turtle-type Pokemon with islands on their back. #references. Artist P. Nestblang. Seriously? Who comes up with these names? Created a depiction of a Cubone and Farfetch'd doing a fusion dance to become Farbone. Even I, the Pokédex, had not previously known that the fusion hot dance worked with Pokemon. We mustn't let them know they can do this, or they will rule the world and destroy all humanity. Run and save yourself. Trainer Hetero6 combined Arcanine and Gyarados into Arcarados, with a vicious snarl at the front and a curly cute little tail at the back. Choose carefully where you will pat this Pokemon. Choose wrong and you will die. Artist HN1012 created Growlina. This depiction of the Pokemon uses very attractive pencil coloring techniques. Germain 1995's depiction of Mewtwo mixed with Magneton into Muton not only has a cool name, Muton, but also looks like a badass gangsta. Genie created a Kingler and Charizard mashup. This is a fire and water type Pokemon, very powerful, but has a weakness of falling on his back. Trainer Mr. Kane created the combination of Hypno and Gloom into Hiploom. You can see him here smashing your Pokeball when trying to catch him because he won't take any of your shit. Fusharp depicted a mixture of Jinx and Machamp in this wrestling scene. Turns out when combined, Jinx and Machamp have a very lucrative Mexican wrestling career. Trainer Pros and Cons created this combination of Sandslash and Nidoking in creative name Nidoslash. Awesome pose and design combination. Cher Sharma combined Charizard and Machamp into Charchamp. Cher Sharma, Charchamp. Shared Sharma's Super Sweet Charchamp. Artist and trainer R3D3, which was actually my nickname in high school, is a depiction of Gyarados and Parasect into Pokemon Gyarasect. This is horrifying. The fact that a trainer would combine these two Pokemon into a depiction like this makes me lose my faith in humanity. We are all doomed. My god. Look at it. Last but not least, Shaquille Sadler created this depiction called What Have I Done? A mixture of Pikachu and Charizard. There are two aspects that are interesting about this piece aside from the visual appeal. One is the sadness in the Pokemon's eyes, the result of the torture endured by all of these Pokemon fusions, and the other is the sadness in the creator's eyes, reflected in the Pokeball, along with a scratched "I'm sorry." Sorry doesn't make it okay. These abominations will kill us all. They were the showcase entries. I hope you will agree I have had adequate sass and humor throughout the showcase. Thank you for your time.
Absolutely amazing entries, I'm sure you will agree, and please once again go watch that slideshow with all of the entries because there were quite a few that I cut from it, including in the showcase that I really was hoping to, but due to time constraints I really do have to keep these videos of a reasonable time frame. So now we're going to jump into the beginner category, and I'm going to begin by sharing a few of the finalists. Again, these aren't prize winners per se, but they were from participants whose entries I really enjoyed and thought showed a lot of ambition and creativity. Starting off with our honourable mentions, this piece by Rosie Champion is called Eevee Chew and is a mix of Pikachu and Eevee and is absolutely adorable. Felix Gorvin combined Gyarados and Haunter, and not only does the design mix well and look appealing, but I really love the execution and the way they made the character look so three-dimensional, as if they're jumping off of the page by cutting around the outline like that. And another special mention goes to Ivan Kavensky, who created a Pokemon mashup of Scyther and Charizard and really effectively mixed the character designs in a design that stands alone really well. And now we've arrived to the beginner category runner-up and first prize winner. The runner-up prize winner of the beginner category goes to Nick Arts, who mixed Growlithe and Cubone in a fusion that looks appealing and is also really complemented by the scene drawn around them and carefully detailed and shaded. The runner-up of the beginner category will receive an item of their choosing from the JAZZA'Studios.com shop. On the JAZZA'Studios.com shop, I sell a bunch of digital products from ebooks to video courses, Photoshop brushes to art games and interesting reference packs. So if you're looking for a really affordable way to develop your artistic skills and practice, or just to have fun with art and learn, I highly recommend checking out my shop because it's a huge support to me, my family, and this channel. Check it out if you're interested. The link is in the card and in the description. And our beginner category winner is 32 Silverin 95, who created a Magnettaire, a mix of Magneton and Dragonair. They created the piece in Clip Studio Paint, and not only is the design appealing, but they've really effectively communicated a dynamic scene here and really conveyed a great sense of power and electricity and strength through this dynamic scene. Great colouring, great composition, fantastic work, and well deserving of the beginner category first prize. The winner of the beginner category will receive 3 months free membership on the Adobe Creative Cloud. For those of you who live with their head under a rock, the Adobe Creative Cloud is the premier place to get all of the artistic tools and creative things that you need to create anything you can imagine. From Adobe Photoshop to Animate to Premiere Pro, the list goes on, but seriously, I highly recommend you check out the Creative Cloud if you haven't, because it's on the Creative Cloud that you have unlimited access to Adobe's amazing array of desktop and mobile mobile apps. The beginner category winner will also receive a signed copy of my book, Draw with Jazza Creating Characters. Go check it out on Amazon or Barnes & Noble. I'll put the links in the description. They'll also receive a Stillman & Byrne 5.5 by 8.5 Epsilon series softcover sketchbook and an item of their choosing from the JAZZA'Studios.com shop. Now we have arrived to the pool of finalists of the open category, of which I selected the runner-up and winner. All of these entries are so amazing, and I can't even explain how difficult it was for me to pick the prize place winners from this pool of finalists, but all of the finalists for the open category will receive a free copy of my Faces bundle, which includes my Draw with Jazza Fun with Faces ebook and my Faces photo reference pack. Our first runner-up, Guy on Wheels, integrated Arcanine and Ninetales into Arcanine Tails with a really appealing face, pose, texture, and effective painting. Artist Yearns created Charpras, a mixture of Charizard and Lapras in a really cool underwater scene. The scene itself has a lot of depth and appeal, and then the character is lit and posed very well too, as well as really great detail and texture in the painting. Artist Inquisition created a Scyther Zubat mashup, which looks absolutely horrifying but so effective, and as a character design alone is really strong and effective and well composed. Lucav mixed Mew and Vileplume in this scene, which is almost primarily a landscape scene, which works really well, of course, because Vileplume is essentially a plant, and this scene is a very plant-heavy nature sort of mystical forest, which is complemented by that mystical theme of Mew being a part of the design. Great use of background, midground, and foreground, lighting, texture, and really nice use of color. Ramaran's mix of Doduo and Charizard is a really effective character combination and design. I really love the silhouette of this character and that really nice storybook tone sort of feeling that it captures through the painting style. Arcanine and Haunter are mixed into Hauntanine here by artist JSun77, and the way that this artist has sort of mixed and created a hybrid of the ghost and fire aesthetic is really effective, and the painting style is very appealing too. Artist Yakovlev Art created Charnix, a mix of Charizard and Onix. This piece has such a strong sense of scale and drama, really effective compositioning and lighting. I really like that mystical feel about it, with just that slight blur and that hot filter overlaid over the image, alongside with the embers floating around the scene. There's really a fantastic sense of scope and heat here. Lavengie combined Blastoise and Pinsir into Blaster. The texture and the way that these character designs have been combined is so cool here. I love that mix of tones, and I really like that hyper-realistic approach to this character's design, which is really pulled off extremely effectively. Indies PIV created a mix of Flareon and Marowak. There's almost a comic book style aesthetic about this piece, which has a really solid character art style, and through that really strong sense of solidity, there's a really clear and clean communication and distinction between the different textures, from the bone to the fur to skin and fire, and of course the nature around them. Very appealing art style, great character pose, and a really effective character design mashup. Beanie Coffee's depiction of Starmie and Nidoking into Star King again is one of these pieces that really has that strong sense of scale going for it. We can see other Pokemon in the scene as a bit of a reference to scale, and I really like how this Pokemon is constructed, sort of that mix between mystical machine and that Nidoking design. Brown Bear created a mix between Arcanine and Onix into the new Pokemon, Arcanix. The character pose and silhouette here is so strong and effective, and the painting style is just so clean and crisp and really effectively communicates the solidity and effectiveness of that character design. Popo Corno created a Plant's Nightmare, Gengar and Ivysaur mixed together into this very eerie looking but effective character design. There's a Cheshire Cat quality about the character's smile here, and the way that the artist has used saturation and desaturation throughout the piece to create a mood of sapping the life out of the environment around them is very effective and well executed. And now, last but not least, we arrive to the announcement of the runner-up and winner for the open category of the Challenge of the Month, and I just want to stop here to take a moment to explain how difficult this decision is to make, because with every prize I select to give to someone, I feel like there's 100 people I'm disappointing. In this case, 1,800 people. Yay! no pressure. This challenge of the month was particularly difficult, not just because of the sheer number and quality of entries, but also because there are different ways that you can judge things. It might be based on the painting quality or the composition or the character design, perhaps the character design fitting in the context of the series, or perhaps a character design independent of the Pokemon series aesthetic. And as a result, a lot of people watching this would have potentially made a different decision. So I will acknowledge that there will be people who have a different opinion and might disagree with my choice, but also remind you that this is the Draw with Jazza Challenge of the Month, and at the end of the day, the decision lies with me, and this is a burden I carry heavily and try really hard to make the absolute best decision possible. So I actually turned to my launch video and listened to the specifications that I gave for how I would be judging entries. Participants will be partially judged on the creativity of their character design, but also the ambition of the piece itself. So pieces with something a little bit more happening in general, for example, an environment or an interaction, may be generally looked upon slightly more favorably, but at the same time, if your ambition is put into the character design and it's just a single character on a clean and mostly blank background, but there's a lot of detail and intense focus on that character, then that could absolutely count for the ambition as well. So how you balance that is entirely up to you. So based on those specifications, I made my selection, and I'm now excited to share with you the prize winners for the runner-up place and the first prize of the November 2016 Challenge of the Month. And the runner-up of the open category goes to Mustache Berry, who combines Starmie and Scyther. Most notable about this piece is the incredible painting style. The level of detail is just so well executed. The gem in the eye of the character, the texture of the skin, the water and the rain, and then the way that the colours reflect off each other are all incredibly well executed and well deserving of that runner-up prize. The runner-up will be receiving a signed copy of the 21 Draw Illustrator's Guidebook hardcover special edition, as well as a brand new Stillman & Byrne 9x12 Epsilon series softcover sketchbook, as well as an item of their choosing from the JAZZA'S shop. Our first prize winner is Arnold Maladin, who mixed Gyarados and Tentacruel, and there are so many aspects about this piece that are so well balanced and effectively executed. First, there's the character design, such an effective mix of these two Pokemon into one horrifying and yet really believable and well executed Pokemon, which works both in the context of this image and in the context of the series and aesthetic of the Pokemon brand itself. Further to that, we get a bit of reference by having the Doduo in the scene running away from it, both for scale and for the aesthetic. Then there's the composition of the piece, the way that the geometry of the ground and the sky warp around the scene, and we can really feel pulled into the drama and the tense action. The textures in the scene are sublime, from the rain and water on the Tentacruel Gyarados mixed character with lightning in the background, and of course the way our attention is driven through the scene in the effective composition, from the counterbalanced yellow lighting in the top right and bottom left corners of the screen, guiding our eye through this beam of light into the direction of the action, which is where this Gyarados Tentacruel character is headed. There's such an intense sense of contrasting and crossing motion, a huge amount of detail, and this artist has really pushed themselves and created something impressive and well deserving of our first prize. Our first prize winner will be receiving 1 year's free membership on the Adobe Creative Cloud, as well as a medium Wacom Intuos Pro tablet. This is a professional quality wireless tablet with great shortcuts, huge amounts of pressure sensitivity, and is capable of amazingly professional results. Click here to see more of Wacom's awesome products, and of course the first prize winner will receive an item of their choosing from the JAZZA'S shop. The first place winners of the open and beginner categories will be receiving 1 year's supporter status on NEWGROUNDS.com, which enables ad-free enjoyment of the website, access to username changes, secret content, exclusive previews, and more. I want to take a moment to thank the sponsors of the Challenge of the Month. You can see them on the screen now. Make sure to click them to check out their products and services, or check out the links in the description. I can't thank them enough for making the awesome stuff that they make, but also sharing it with us here in the Challenge of the Month. So make sure to go check them out. They all get a big 2 thumbs up from me. And last but not least, I want to thank you, the amazing community contributing to and watching and participating in these Challenges of the Month, without whom none of this would be possible, and your talent and time being contributed to this are amazing. So I want to thank you so much for participating in this challenge of the month, and I look forward to sharing the next challenge of the month with you, announced tomorrow, which I'm particularly excited about, not only because it has to do with character design in the context of video games, but because we're also going to be working with a sponsor who's hosting their own competition at the same time, so that if you enter my challenge of the month, you will have done the work to enter too. I will say no more than that, but make sure to check out the video which will come out tomorrow and get your creative juices flowing ready to jump into another challenge. Thank you all so much for watching, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure to like and subscribe if you haven't, and until next time, I'll see you later. Thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe to my channel for new content every week. If you want to support my work and get some goodies for yourself, head over to my store for archives, ebooks, digital brushes, video courses, and more. If you enjoyed this video, here's a link to another video you might like from this channel. And if you want even more, make sure to check out all my behind the scenes action on my vlog channel, Daily Jazza. Draw with Jazza is proudly sponsored by Adobe. Join the Creative Cloud today and get loads of incredible creative tools like Photoshop, Animate, Premiere Pro, and other apps for your computer or mobile device. That's it for now. Thanks for joining the arty party, and until next time, I'll see you later.